Hey artist, let's make these awesome, delicious looking donuts. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to create your own. All right, to get started, we're going to take our round tracer and we're going to hold down with one hand and trace the circles onto the page. You do not want your circles to touch, so you're leaving some space in between them. And some of your circles will not fit on your paper. So like this one doesn't quite fit. It's gonna go right off the page. And I think I'm gonna put one here also that goes right off the page. I might have a corner of a donut just popping down right there. And I'll put one over here. Okay, now that I have the circles kind of all over the page, left a space in between, I might even put a little extra one to balance it out right here. So some of the donuts are right on the page and some of them are going right off the page. We're going to take this little cup, set it down in the center of the donut, hold it with one finger and trace around to get the whole of the donut right in the center. Now some of these are not on the page, so where would the donut hole go? I can use this to help me. I'll set this here, put the donut hole in the center, and then when I move this, I see that the center would be off the page, so I will not put a circle on this one. Let's try this one down here. It looks like if I looked right in the middle, it would be about here. So you want to kind of measure out where would the center be. It would look really silly for me to put the circle right here. That's not the middle of the donut. So I'm going to take this, use my tracer and kind of imagine, okay, that's where the center would be, and I'll just kind of hold that up. Okay, so this little circle will go right off the page also. Perfect. Okay, I've got one more to do. Holding that down with one finger and then tracing around. Perfect. Now I've got all of my donuts ready to be painted. All right, before someone decorates the donuts that they make, first they have to bake them. So this is almost like we are baking our donuts. We're going to get some different cake colors. Now this is a palette that's already been used by some students. It's kind of messy, but it has the colors I need. We've got kind of a chocolate color, a vanilla, a strawberry, and underneath this is kind of a reddish color that could be like red velvet cake or cinnamon. I also want to get a sponge to dry my brush off with because this is tempera paint and it doesn't really like water. So we want to keep our brush pretty dry. And then our water to wash our brush. Okay, you're just gonna dip into whatever color you're thinking and you're gonna carefully paint inside of your donut, but you do not want to get in the middle of the donut because that's where the hole is. So we're gonna just kind of smooth this brush around. Okay, I'm gonna do another pink donut. I think I'll make this one up here pink. And I'm also gonna make this bottom one pink. Just because that's the color I have on my brush and I might as well use it up. Perfect. Now when you're ready to switch to another type of donut, you're gonna wash your brush clean by really rubbing it back and forth over those ridges. Knock all the paint off. If you just stir it in the water, it won't do it. You have to actually push the paint off. Touch the side to get rid of that extra water. And we're just gonna give a couple taps to our SpongeBob over here to dry it off. I mean, it's still wet, but there's not a lot of water on it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple chocolate donuts. This will be a chocolate one. And I'm gonna do this one chocolate over here. I'm also gonna do a couple vanilla and maybe one of those red velvet. So just keep doing what you're doing. Carefully paint in each donut one solid color. This is like we're baking the donut. And then we can be bakers who are decorating with our icing and our candies and our crumbled cookie and whatever else we want to put on our donuts. Okay, once you have all of your donuts painted, it's like they're baked and they're ready to be frosted. Let's get some different colors of frosting. So you can dip into your paint. Maybe this strawberry donut will have some chocolate frosting. Now you do not want to cover all of your donut. You just want to put the frosting in kind of a wiggle across your donut, leaving the cake part still sticking out on the edges. All right, this one is going to be strawberry with chocolate frosting. Then I've got to wash my brush clean, tap off the extra water on the sponge, and choose a different color. I'm going to choose some raspberry frosting for this one. And I'm making sure to leave the edge of my donut, just getting that frosting across it. Perfect. And you can use any flavor of frosting you want on each donut. Some blueberry frosting here. So you're just dipping in, wiggling your brush to look like frosting. And then you wash your brush clean and choose a different flavor. We're gonna add frosting to every donut we've got. All right, now all of the donuts have a beautiful layer of icing so we can get to the real decorating, which is really fun. I'm thinking about making this one rainbow sprinkle. So I'm just going to dip and drop the sprinkles all over the donut. And I'm gonna switch up the colors. So I'll do orange, I'll do pink, I'll do red. Some of the donuts have tons of sprinkles, so you could really go wild with it. And then we're gonna think about other donuts. I've seen donuts with M&Ms. I've seen donuts that have pieces of cookie or brownie or chocolate. So there's also ones where they take the icing and they drizzle it in all different shapes. So you're gonna think about what you wanna do to each one. So I'm just switching up and making this one my beautiful rainbow sprinkle. And if I decide to make, maybe I'll make this one have the M&Ms. That's gonna be a bigger circle. So I'm going to be putting some of the bigger candies on this one. So I will go ahead and finish these two, and then I'll show you some other decorating as well. Okay, I finished my M&M donut, I finished my rainbow sprinkle, and I did some of the like longer, skinnier sprinkles on this one. So now I'm thinking about using some icing to decorate. So I'm going to do where they've got the icing that kind of goes in a swirl, kind of comes up and down, where they just kind of swirl the icing over the donut. And you just want to go ahead and decorate all of your donuts, either with icing or cookies or candy, just to make them look extra yummy. And then when you're all satisfied, we will start adding the shadows to our donuts, which really makes them look 3D and realistic. All right, that's looking amazing. Has like a little blueberry swirl. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate my other donuts with something, and then we'll be ready to add those shadows. All right, now every donut has some yummy toppings on it. We're going to let this dry, and then we can add those shadows. Okay, now we're going to add those shadows. So we need to decide, like, what way do you want to be up? And then all of our shadows we're going to put on the left side of our page, this way. And so that's also going to help. I don't know if you notice, I made a little mistake right there where I dropped my brush and left a big old blue spot. So luckily I'll be able to cover that mistake up. You are going to take your black oil pastel and you are going to just gently trace around the inside and the outside of your donut. The inside with your best tracing and the outside. And we're going to do this to every single one. You can see I kind of missed an area there. I'm going to go back over it. We're going to do the inside circle with the black oil pastel and the outside with the black oil pastel. Every donut needs an outline. So go ahead and outline all of your donuts. Okay, they are all outlined. Now we're going to be adding a shadow more specifically to this side of the outside. So that means just on the left side of each donut, you're going to make it a little bit thicker just on that side. So here's the left side of this donut, and I'm just adding a little thickness to the left part. And nowhere else, I'm just adding it just to that little part. So this one here, just adding a little bit of that thicker shadow. And that's gonna really help me go over where I spilled my paint. Okay, this one you can barely see the left side, so it's gonna be just a little drop. And this one, the left side is off the page, so I'm not adding extra shadow there. I'm gonna add extra shadow to the left side of this donut and a little bit to this one. Okay, now that you have added some shadow to the left side of the donut, the inside is going to have a shadow on the right side. So that's this side over here. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow on the inside corner. Inside corner, inside corner, on the right side of the inside. This side over here, just a little bit extra. And right here. Okay. The way that that looks now is that there's a light shining on this side, and so then the shadows are kind of behind that light here and here. Now we're going to kind of blend using our white oil pastel. So you're going to take the white oil pastel and you're just going to kind of go over the edge here and over the edge here, and it just kind of gives it a smoother look. So I'm going to do that to each donut, adding that white. It kind of smooths it out and blends it in with our gray background and gives us that nice shadowed look. And gives a little bit of a highlight too. So we're just kind of smoothing out, rubbing some white oil pastel around the donut. These are looking so amazing. Really makes those decorations pop right off the page. All right, these are looking like they are pretty much all finished up. We added our shadow, we added a little bit of highlight with the white, and we did some blending to make those shadows kind of fade out. We put all these delicious toppings on. Now those are some cool donuts. I cannot wait to see the donuts that you create.